B1 family, welcome to BlackLogic. Today for Money Mondays, we're going to go over Bitcoin and some of the predictions and how I believe that Bitcoin still to this day will be a valuable currency for you guys to invest in and hold long term. Bitcoin has had a rocky past 2 or 3 years where, it was predicted to be over 100,000 about 2 years ago. And now it's kind of been stable somewhat in the $40,000 range. I think at its peak was around 44,800. Don't quote me on those exact numbers, but that's what Bitcoin essentially was. And some are predicting how Bitcoin will possibly reach anywhere from 70 to $100,000 next year. Some people are even predicting that Bitcoin will boost up at the end of the year here. I don't know how essentially that's going to happen, especially during the holiday season. A lot of stocks usually either become stable, or if they are mega investors, those Mensa investors that are really getting into the market as people are spending cash on gifts and prizes and trinkets for their loved ones, they get inside the market because the stock does go down, which has it to raise up at the end of it. But we should definitely get into it. We should definitely understand the future, how Bitcoin not only will probably possibly reach $100,000, $300,000 per coin, but some even are predicting that Bitcoin will reach around $500,000 per coin. But we'll get into it. So yeah, we won't waste our time here too long, but we're going to go over how you guys can essentially invest in Bitcoin and why I think it's important that you not only invest in Bitcoin now and hold it for the long term and how those things will be profitable. Let's listen to this short clip here.
Goes down to around 3,000
3 to 7,000, yes.
in the next
2 years.
2 years.
In the global crash,
In the global- where
all
everything-
financial assets, and Bitcoin is a new financial asset.
But ultimately, you see Bitcoin going to $500,000.
$500,000 to $1 million. I compare the crypto to the dot-coms in the late 90s. It wasn't just a bubble in tech stocks, it was the dot-com.
So Bitcoin goes down.
All right, so this is from the Metaverse Mentors, and there's the reason why I wanted to point that out from the Metaverse Mentors. Now, we're going to get on that a little bit later because essentially I believe that digital currencies, Bitcoins, now we understand there's a cap on Bitcoins. I think there's only like 21 million coins left to be mined, but how altcoins, just like Ethereum and those coins that support the Ethereum network are going to be very, very profitable. But I think you should have Bitcoin as well because they're treating Bitcoin like gold. They're treating it as a scarcity when it comes to digital currency. They wanted to put a cap on it, and that was trying to control inflation and some other things. But let's get into some of the predictions here. You're going to see a lot of figures and numbers thrown at you, but we're going to get right into the nitty-gritty of things. Now, we see how the Bitcoin price changed. They have a 7-day that's going to go up roughly 23%, and how the Bitcoin circulating supply is around 20 million. As I said 21 million, but around 21 million or so. Bitcoin at its all-time high almost reached $70,000, and then it went down to almost $8,000 per coin. And believe it or not, that is when a lot of people should start to investing. As we become more innovative when it comes to augmented reality, virtual reality, how they're going to be dealing with commerce or e-commerce within these augmented reality spaces, these metaverses. We have already transcended video gaming with games like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption 2, where you have these endless worlds that you can just travel for the eternity. It's kind of like these 360 worlds that you can travel. The question is, how are you going to start to conduct business with this sort of virtual reality as well as augmented reality? Well, I'm telling you, they're not only think about it, they're trying to figure out a way how to make virtual reality and Bitcoin and reality itself with Bitcoin, because we're already using Bitcoin for paying people, buying certain things from a certain merchant. There's even some countries who have adopted Bitcoin as their national currency, okay? So these are all the different ways that should encourage some investors to drop a couple of $100 in Bitcoin and see where it takes them. But again, Bitcoin is a long-term investment, okay? So we see some of the kind of predictions here where they believe Bitcoin is going, but let's move on. So Motley Fool is a very respected investment information source that you guys can go to. And this is how Bitcoin will hit $1 trillion in 2024. They don't necessarily mean the coin's going to hit $1 trillion, okay? They mean that the market cap is going to reach essentially $1 trillion. So keep that in mind as well. But it states here, which I think is very important to investors, the recent price action might also be a direct result of optimism building on a Bitcoin spot exchange traded fund. You know, I love my ETF fam. So this is huge news that has been coming out to finally hit the market. You have BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest. I think ARK Invest is by Kathy Woods, a $1 billion. Kathy Woods is a female $1 billion investor. You have Invesco, you have Wisdom Tree, among others, have all filed applications to introduce this particular product. Then you have things that says we've seen the inflation start to come down in recent months, as we have. I've even seen an interest rate to buy a new vehicle for 5.96 on interest, which is not good in terms of a long-term buy, because I'm looking at the vehicles that I've had, my interest rate are around anywhere from 2.25% to 3%. So when you're talking about 5.9 at the lowest, we're still quite high when it comes to inflation. It also states here, and to the Federal Reserve, this could be viewed as a clear signal that its effort to curb rising prices across the economy by aggressively hiking interest rates is working. This could prompt the central bank to cut rates sometime in 2024. This will be another bullish catalyst for a risky asset like Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is risky, family. It is risky, okay? But that doesn't mean that you're going to lose your money, because Bitcoin, don't forget, Bitcoin came around, was it between what, 2019 or 2021? I forget those 2 days. Don't hold me to it. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, Bitcoin came out in 2021. And if you would have invested $100 in Bitcoin in 2021, at the height of Bitcoin around $68,000 per coin, you would have made roughly around $3.3 million. You would have been a millionaire off a $100 investment. I want you guys to think about that. So those figures and those predictions that we've seen on the short clip stating that Bitcoin will essentially reach $500,000, time is essentially on your side, because right now Bitcoin, we're going to look into it. We're going to look into it because I don't know the current price of Bitcoin. Let's go over here and look at this. We have crypto BTC, which is Bitcoin, the symbol for that. And right now, Bitcoin is at $41,695 per coin. Let's look at the year. Let's see how it's performed. And the year, of course, as I stated, 44,732 at the 52-week range at its high, which is very important. Now, how the metaverse will change the cryptocurrency market, okay? And I have a short highlight for you here. It says, people love spending money, and shopping very quickly established itself as a key feature of both Web 1 and Web 2. These are different technologies, so you don't really need to key in on that. So there's no reason Web 3 will be any different. It's also becoming increasingly apparent that while no one is quite sure exactly what form the metaverse will eventually take, it has the potential to significantly impact the cryptocurrency involves, the way cryptocurrency evolves itself around the metaverse, and the impact it will eventually have on society. Now, people thought that cryptocurrency, like your traditional investors, oh, I don't want to get involved in that, is one of those scam sort of investments. No, family. It not only are there hundreds of billionaires and millionaires who've invested in Bitcoin, this is how they got their riches, but Bitcoin is still around. And yeah, it dropped down to 8,000, but now it's around the mid, 40,000 range. And it's expected, it's expected to almost hit $100,000 next month. Of course, we shouldn't gloss over the fact that the energy used by this software to crunch a cryptography that makes currencies work consumes a great deal of energy. But protocols are constantly being refined and new technologies are being developed with the aim of reducing energy use. What they're stating here, if anyone knows about how Bitcoin is mined and how Bitcoin is used and how Bitcoin is within this digital currency market. It used tons of electricity to mine and cultivate Bitcoin. But now, new innovations, new technologies, it's not going to be as costly to mine Bitcoin, okay? The 20 some odd coins that we still have left in the market today. These are all things that we should essentially think about. The metaverse and crypto. You're going to continue to see these things throughout the investment market. And the one thing here is this: it doesn't matter if you're going to go get you a Quest 3 virtual reality, augmented reality sort of goggles. Investing is the way to go. And these are long-term investments, because I tell you, you guys are going to coffee shops, you're going to shop your heart out during this holiday season, and I guarantee you have $100 to invest. In my opinion, you should invest in Bitcoin. Right now, I think I have around $8,000 to $9,000 in Bitcoin. And believe me, I've lost a great deal, but you have to know when to hold them. You have to know when to sell them, okay? And that is very important as well. And when I look at the metaverse in the conjunction with Bitcoin, there are some things I want you guys to really pay attention to here. Now, this states that the metaverse is largely the realm of the video game industry and other imaginary startups. It's worth noting that the turmoil in the crypto space during the first half of 2022 has also cast a shadow on the metaverse and its viability as a fully fledged digital economy. Nevertheless, here are 4 early stage projects to watch that are bridging the gap between cryptocurrency and metaverse. As we stated before, they're bridging the gap. They're trying to join these two digital, virtual, augmented reality worlds. So essentially, you're going to be using Bitcoin in everyday life, because already they have platforms like Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal, where you can actually use Bitcoin. You actually can buy or sell or even pay people off in Bitcoin. But here are some other things that you guys can invest in, some other stocks here that you guys can invest in that works on different exchanges and different networks. Like the Decentraland is the Ethereum, is based on an Ethereum network that's based on metaverse experience. Remember when Snoop Dogg came out and stated that he bought some real estate property in the metaverse? Like, people are essentially buying digital cities, creating digital cities, and what currency are they going to use? I can care less about all this, metaverse and stuff like that. I might buy GTA 6 just to see how crazy the game is, because again, these are all indicators of not only the digital economy, but also reality and how the world is moving today. So all of these things are inputs. They're information that we can use in order to times 10 our investment portfolios, which is very, very important. I'll show you the other ones here. We have Axie Infinity. It states here that it is an Ethereum blockchain-based version of Nintendo's Pokemon franchise. You see how they're creating these stocks that you guys can invest in that is going to merge within the Bitcoin and Ethereum networks, which is important. You have Crypto Bartisas. So they have all these things they're bridging the gap on that you guys need to really, really take hold of. So right now, Bitcoin dropped down to $40,928. We're going to look at that. These are the things that we should be investing on. I see you, Jermaine Anderson. Thank you, brother, for once again being a great moderator. I do appreciate it. So here's some things we need to look at, because as we're diving into the world of Bitcoin, and we have to understand that Bitcoin is the OG of the cryptocurrencies, and exploring why investing in it for the long haul might be the golden ticket for your financial prosperity. Okay, so let's look at it. Limited supply. Bitcoin, as I stated before, is like digital gold, because Bitcoin often referred to as digital gold. You know why? Because it shares a key characteristic with the precious metal, right? The scarcity of it, with a capped supply of 21 million coins. It's a hedge against inflation. It's making it attractive to long-term store of its value. What about the global adoption and the recognition of Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin's adoption has gone global. As we're going to go over, there's 2 countries in mind that has made Bitcoin their national currency. Because from institutional investors to everyday users, the recognition of Bitcoin as a legitimate asset class is growing. It's not becoming weaker, it's actually growing. This increasing acceptance contributes to its stability and long-term viability. Now, over the years, Bitcoin's infrastructure has matured significantly from secure wallets to user-friendly exchanges. The ecosystem is more robust than ever, making it easier for newcomers to enter the space and the seasoned investors to manage their holdings. Because when Bitcoin first came out, it was very hard to invest in. There wasn't many exchanges and networks that you can go in and buy your Bitcoin, but now it's more easily on different platforms for you guys to essentially invest in. So when we talk about the numbers, because while predicting the exact future price of Bitcoin is challenging, because I threw out 100,000, 300,000, 500,000, as some of these other so-called digital currency investors have predicted, many experts foresee significant growth. Now, some conservative estimates suggesting reaching, the $100,000 mark, with more optimistic projections hinting at a price surpassing 300,000 per coin coming in the coming years, as well as the short clip that we watch at 500,000. Now, as we bridge the gap, as those stocks that were shown before, because as the metaverse evolves, so does the concept of digital ownership. People are making digital cities and digital yachts and digital cars, and they want to own these digital spaces, that's all in the cloud. But nonetheless, they're buying these things and holding them as assets, whereas though people are going to start selling digital real estate if they already have not doing so, okay? I haven't really looked in that, but I'm pretty sure someone out there is selling digital real estate. I know it's crazy. Now, when I look at Bitcoin being a, somewhat decentralized digital currency, and the reason why I say somewhat is because America has figured out a way, if you have Bitcoin, for them to tax you on it. But nonetheless, there's some countries that are yet, they have not went down that road yet. Seamlessly, this also fits into this paradigm because it can serve as a universal currency for transactions within the metaverse, providing a secure and borderless financial system. Now, Bitcoin's integration into the metaverse is beyond transactions. It can be a cornerstone in decentralized finance, also known as DeFi, those DeFi applications within virtual worlds, offering users financial services without the need for traditional intermediaries. Now, some things I know that people really got hot with the NFTs, the non-fungible tokens. Now, when we talk about NFTs and Bitcoin, NFTs are already making waves in the metaverse. Yes, already. That's not my cup of tea. I like hard investments. Some of you can still figure out these markets and make tons and tons of money. But imagine combining the uniqueness of NFTs with the stability of Bitcoin. This synergy could unlock new possibilities for creating and trading digital assets within virtual environments. So you should definitely be considering Bitcoin as one of the investments that you guys should be doing today, okay? So yeah, that's the current price of Bitcoin. Now, as I stated before, here are some of the ways that Bitcoin is being used. As I stated before, you have service request payment sites like Bitcoin via Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal. It also states here that some online games offer Bitcoin rewards for completing tasks or winning games. Where are these games at? I mean, I play games every now and again, so why not? Why not earn some Bitcoin while I play games? And they kind of get into some information, how to store Bitcoin in these digital wallets. And you got certain places like crypto.com and coinbase.com, et cetera. So you guys can definitely learn how to invest in those things as well. The video is not going in that direction. I'm just showing you the worth and how possibly Bitcoin become very valuable to you guys, especially when it comes to investing in digital currencies. Now, if you guys are not familiar with El Salvador became the first country to adopt Bitcoin as a national currency. That's huge. That's huge. Now, when I compare their GDP towards America's GDP, it's like $28 billion compared to America's $23, $25 trillion. But nonetheless, the official currency of El Salvador, and I think this occurred in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, they adopt Bitcoin as a national currency. I'm just showing you how big Bitcoin will eventually come. It's already a big thing in tech. It's already a big thing in digital currency, but it's going to become even bigger as more countries adopt Bitcoin as a national currency. Okay. And as I stated before, you have El Salvador's GDP at 28.74 billion versus America's 23.32 trillion. But when we look at now, here's the thing, family. America is $33 trillion in debt. So if you subtract 23 from 33, then we're what? $10 trillion in debt. That's all I'm saying. When you subtract it from the GDP. But I digress. Now, Bitcoin becomes official currency in Central African Republic. See, I haven't done any research on the countries that are accepting Bitcoin versus the countries who have adopted Bitcoin as their national currency. This is mind-blowing to me that digital currency has came in a short time of 20 years and is now erasing the natural currency of those countries. Like, forget about Forex trading, right? Forget about Forex trading where you're, investing in this currency, banking on that if it decreases in value or increases in value, you cash out and make a profit. No, digital currency, buy and hold is the way to go. Now, lastly, let me log into my account very, very quickly here. Let me log into my Robin account so I can show you guys how much I've lost in Bitcoin. I know you're like, that goes against the video if you want us to invest, but I think transparency plays a major role here because I've yet to sell my Bitcoin, and I won't. I won't really sell my Bitcoin unless I absolutely have to, okay? Because I have a strong, not only a strong feeling, right? We shouldn't be investing in emotions, but with statistics and information from people who are experts in the game, okay? So I'm coming over here to my Robinhood. Let's see here. And I'm going over to, that's the Ethereum. I got Dogecoin. I still lost a lot on Dogecoin. I should have sold that the very next day because I would have made about $3,000 off the amount of Dogecoin that I had at the time. Now, Bitcoin is dropping right now, okay? But, so let's see, is at 41,000. We're looking at Bitcoin. Here's my equity. My total return, I'm down $193. My average cards is 41,988. This is a third of my portfolio. I don't even have one Bitcoin, but again, I invested about $9,000, as you can tell. Okay, about $8,000 in Bitcoin. Let's see what they have around here. The maximum amount of Bitcoin that can cover exists is 21 million. 8 decimal places. Global POW system could make hacking too expensive to execute Bitcoin's model as a blueprint. MicroStrategy and other crypto stocks are beating Bitcoin, how to play them. There's a lot of information here on Robinhood that you guys can essentially look through and know more about the cryptocurrency markets as well. But the major thing that makes Bitcoin important or makes Bitcoin valuable is not Bitcoin itself. It's not the digital currency itself. It's the technology that fuels Bitcoin, which is blockchain, the blockchain technology with, people like Cisco, IBM, all of these major, really major conglomerates of technology companies, especially even with Facebook or Meta now. They have already testing and implementing blockchain technologies within their technologies for the metaverse, okay? So we're bridging the gap between the two because at one point in time, I strongly believe, based upon research and people how they're strategically investing themselves in the Bitcoin market, how they're going to join together. Now, on CoinDesk, it states here that Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Marathon stocks buckle 5 to 10% as Bitcoin tumbles below 42K. Now, here's my history of trading Bitcoin, buying it at $3,000, $4,000. I sold quite a bit of it for profit, right? When it was at 54,000. So I made a healthy chunk of change off the Bitcoin that I already sold. So in the past year, which was quite recently, Bitcoin on December 8th, let me roll up here, got up to $44,000. So here's the point, and I'm just giving you very arbitrary numbers for an example. Let's take, for instance, you invested at Bitcoin. Let's go back to, let's say when it was down here in August 19th. You invested at Bitcoin $26,000. Let's just say you had $26,000 that you say, I want to invest, and you just went ahead and bought you one Bitcoin. On December 8th, okay, so let's do the math here. You know, I got my trusty calculator here. 44,000. I'm gonna do simple numbers here. 44,000. Take away 26,000. That's how you come to your profit. You would have made $18,000 off that one investment. $18,000. Again, Bitcoin is very volatile, but it can be very lucrative if you are not an impatient investor. So some people get on here, they're like, oh man, my stocks are down, right? I go back to my portfolio. I'm looking at my entire portfolio here. Oh, my portfolio is down $350. What stocks are underperforming? I need to get rid of these stocks. Because I'll give you an example. I have 70 shares of NEO. And at one point in time, I was making thousands of dollars off of NEO. Then Donald Trump came into office and put sanctions and tariffs on China, which hurt my stock greatly, because at one point in time, even this year, no, let me go back. Let me go 5 year stint here, 5 years. I remember when NEO, here we go, was almost $62 per share. And I was raking in the money, right? You know why? Because my average cost of shares that I bought at the time was $37.51. Now, again, that number fluctuates because I exercise dollar cost averaging, meaning I allocate a certain amount of money a month. When the stock is down, I buy more. When the stock goes up, I buy less. But I continue to buy NEO using dollar cost averaging and allocating a certain amount of money each and every month, okay? So right now, as you can tell, I'm down $2,000. Family, the money that I invest is the money that I invest. I don't look at this money as money that I need, whether it be short-term or long-term. This is money that's going to propel my financial portfolio through the roof. But I have to be patient. I have to be well-informed. I have to do my research in order for this to make multitudes of residual and passive cash that I can then cash out in times of trouble, cash out for another investment. Maybe I want to invest in a business. Maybe I want to invest in real estate. Maybe I want to send my children to school. Whatever it may be, this is why I'm using the power for this for. And with platforms like, Robinhood, Webull, even Fidelity as sorts, you can actually do fractional investing. You don't have to come in here, even though you should. I mean, the stock is only at $7.59, but you can do fractional investings where, like here, you see it says dollar, or you can do the actual shares where you actually have to pay $7.59, or you can say, you know what, I'm just going to do dollars. So take, for instance, I was going to buy in NEO right here. As long as you're, I think, investing $1, it will let it go through, okay? Reviewing, and then you can go ahead and buy it. I'm not going to do that right now. That was some residual cash of dividends from some other stocks that I have in my portfolio. Now, I haven't really showed my portfolio in quite some time, but I will. Let me shrink this so you guys can see my portfolio really quickly, okay? So within my portfolio, and some of these symbols I forget, but I'll try to do my best. We got NEO, electric vehicle car company, Plug, Plug Energy, Plug Power. I think this is hydrogen that you would be investing in, but look at this. I'm even down on my Plug Power, but I'm holding it. I'm down another $3,000, but I'm holding it. I have 139 shares of that. And I'll show you the quick history of Plug Power, because at one point in time, I was making some great money, and all this is back in 2021. Why is that so significant? Because COVID-19 killed everything, okay? But Plug Power per share was up at $66.87. And look at my average cost, $25.40, okay? Let's see what some of the analysts are saying down here. Let's see if they have, So the analysts are saying that you should buy at 37%, hold at 56.3%, and sell at 6.3. If it's not over like 15 or 20%, I don't even look at the sale. And we do have over 10 analyst ratings at 32 analysts has chimed in on this. Very quickly, I'm just going to read the bulls. It says recent capital raises over dramatically improved the company's financial strength. Cash and investment total approximately $3 billion as year to end. By providing customers a bundled solution of technology and fuel, Plug stands to capture a larger accessible market. Plug's partnership with leading global companies provide validated different strategy. That's why the bulls are stating that this stock will go up. Okay. I kind of give you just a breakdown of my portfolio here, guys, so you see that I've lost, okay? And I don't look at it losing money. To me, when I see a stock price goes down, the value of my portfolio overall because of that stock has went down, but that's not the time to buy. Some people wait till they break even, but we have to understand the information and the way that particular industry and market is moving to have some predictions of the amount of money that you can potentially make. I have Apple, Pro Generation, Tesla, Triple Q, Blink Charging, Coinbase, 3D printing, Squarespace. I forgot what the U was, got what the hood was. Oracle, Amazon, Snap, Goldman and Sachs. Let's see. These are some other ones. Google, SoFi, Vanguard, Global Satellites, Sundial, I believe, Skills, and AMC. Okay, let's look at AMC very quickly. This one, the people from, what's that group out of Reddit? I forgot the group out of Reddit. They were essentially controlling this stock, and some of them became millionaires off of basically pumping and dumping this particular stock, and it hasn't really rebound all that much, okay? So February this year, AMC was at $76 per share. Now you see it's almost like an EKG meter where it's flatlined. Now over the past 5 years, back in 2021, AMC was at $376 per share. Now, at the current time, as you see, I bought in very high, $75, thinking I was going to make some money. And now look where I'm at. I'm down $200 on AMC, and I really don't see AMC getting back to $300 unless somebody does some other sort of pump and dump scam. But nonetheless, I think it's important for you guys to invest and think about the future with your investments. The metaverse is being built up bigger and larger every single day. Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Don't think of it as a short-term investment. Think of it as a long-term investment, okay? I see Yo-Yo is in here. I invest into Dogecoin and Shiba Inu for about 3 years now. Should I still hold or just sell? Now, all my information, family, I will tell you is opinionated, okay? I'm not giving you professional advice. But in my opinion, when it comes to Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, which I actually invested in Shiba for like 2 days and I made some good money off of it nonetheless. Okay, because a buddy of mine who's really deep inside the market, like, hey, sell that now. I don't know what information he received, but he told me to sell it and I sold it. And I made a couple $1,000s, not too much. When it comes to Dogecoin, as you guys, Yo-Yo has stated, I still have Dogecoin. Let me show you. I still have Dogecoin. And I have yet to sell it, okay? I'm waiting for Elon Musk to throw in a meme, say something about Dogecoin, but I think he's made his money off the coin that he's created, and he dropped out. I really do think that. I think the money that he has made from, he's made the money from Dogecoin to cover the money he lost buying Twitter, now X, and he's out of it, right? Because right now I'm down $127. I have 226 coins of Doge. To give you my opinion on whether you should buy, hold, or sell, I'm just going to hold mine. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold mine to at least break even. When it comes to digital currencies, when it comes to altcoins, my best opinionated advice would be Bitcoin and any altcoins or digital tokens that are under the Ethereum network. If it's not Bitcoin or under the Ethereum network, then I would kind of stray away from those, with one exception, with one honorable mention. I know somebody's going to beat me up if I don't say this one particular one. Ripple, XRP. XRP, because they're already using XRP. Let's see how XRP is performing before we get out here today. So in the past year, XRP in July went up to 82 cents. And these is one of those coins you guys can jump in and jump out, but you cannot invest in this on Robinhood. But yes, Ripple seems to be a very, very viable and lucrative investment as well. Okay. Good afternoon to you, Sheila, as well. But anyway, fam, I just want to give you that quite bit of advice on Money Mondays here. I think it's very important for you guys to invest and understand that you're investing now for the future. Now, if you guys are thinking about some quick, some get quick rich sort of investments, this is not the place for it. Money Mondays, I don't have any quick get rich sort of investments for you guys. I'm unless you become a day trader. I was a day trader at one point in time. I made some good money. I think I've profit more than I lost, but day trading could be a headache if you have a full-time job and you're walking around your job, unless you work from home, trading on your phone all day, and you don't have all your I used to have about 4 or 5 screens where I'm looking at RSIs, market capitalizations, what major investor has bought and sold this, did the CEO buy back his, I'm looking at stock news, I'm looking at the relative strength index, I'm looking at the candlesticks, I'm looking how the stock tripulates through over time. I'm looking at a lot of information, and it's very hard to do that on your phone. So I became a long-term investor, which I know that my portfolio will go through some turmoil, okay? So with that being said, fam, you guys have a great and wonderful day, and I see you guys on the next.